Hello, everybody. Welcome to Silent Podcast, place where everything but silent. I'm your host, Isaiah, and we're back to talk Big Brother 26, Week 9. I'm your host, Isaiah, and I'm with my co-host, per usual, Josie Ann. Josie, what's going on?
I'm excited. I wasn't here last week because life is lifing, but I'm excited to talk about the tea. I'm excited to see what they did with the rankings because sometimes it's the blind leading the blind. So I'm here to make sure things are correct this week. All right, period.
All right, and then first time this season, we got Dom. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Dom. I'm ready to talk Big Brother. I've been watching the feeds today too, so I'm ready.
All right, we all seem ready to chat about this whole thing. I say we just get into it. Well, actually, pause. Dom, we haven't talked to you at all this season about Big Brother. How do you feel about this season in comparison to all the other new era seasons?
Okay. Well, first off, shout out to all my dogs at the crib. If I had to, I've ranked the seasons just in my head before. Season 26 definitely is probably the best new era season since season 20. What, 3? Are we gonna say 23?
I would say 23.
Yeah, 23 on. I feel like kind of follow the same format, same just I guess you could say. Anything before that is a little wonky. They don't have the half and half like POC thing and stuff like that. So I'm gonna say season 26 by far is the best new era season. So
listen, that's how I agree. I'm with you though. As long as we're on this trajectory, I'm fully with you. I'm not gonna lie. This season is putting Big Brother at a bar, and I'm not really accepting anything lower than that right now. So I don't know if I could take another Jag season. After this season, this is great TV. I was always I'm still I love Big Brother Canada, but I was I urged for BB Can because of how bad Big Brother US was getting. But this is Big Brother for me, and I fall in love with the show again. It's crazy. Every time I'm about to fall out of love and drop this show, it gives me a good season and brings me back. Josie, we didn't talk to you last week. How do you feel about everything that's going on in the house?
You know what? As the title says, for those who are watching, what goes around comes around. Okay, this season is giving karma, Jojo Siwa. It's giving entertainment. It's giving something new and fresh every week, and I'm here for it. For the first time, I feel like in a long time, we see the power being used, the power of veto. I think the power of veto is at times more powerful than the HOH, to be quite frank. And so I love seeing this dynamic, which I feel like has been kind of the norm in BB Can, really transcend here. The competitions have been so equitable, and I feel like it's making other players shine in general, the whole cast shine in general. So I'm really happy about what's taking place, and now we have a new HOH who's flipping the house again. So it's a fun season all in all.
Listen, I'm with you, Josie. God, I was about to say something. I have a blank spot. Ignore me. Anyways, let's talk about this cast because you weren't here, Josie, last week. You said you want to see the rankings. And Dom, you got some too. So this was last week, right? Just not over here. And and I was just I think the sentiment last week, I was just yes, Josie's not here to stop me from doing anything. But I think we were pretty close. I think this is pretty consistent, if you ask me, of what the house is. We're gonna talk about it. But the person that was dead in the water is gone with Quinn, So Quinn is swiftly out of here. Before we start ranking people, and either of you can chime in whenever. Did Quinn get robbed? Or should have Quinn stayed this season? How you guys feel? Was this a bad move on the house to take Quinn out, or a good move? All right, there you go.
Okay. He was robbed. He wasn't robbed.
I think what you reap is what you sow, and Quinn is the exact example of that. he was so messy in the beginning, and he got away with it because his tea wasn't being clocked. He was aligned with everyone in the house. If we go back to the recaps that we did week 1, week 2, we were saying Quinn was in such a power position, but I think he handled that power poorly, absolutely poorly. And I think the main example was telling Chemo about his power and not telling a lot of other people, especially when he was in line with the whole house. So when that came out, people felt like they weren't important to Quinn. And 2, when he spilled the tea to the Pentagon, to the Visionaries, and then the Visionaries used that and flipped during his HOH. Like he really did that. And I think his comparison to this was so solid. Like I was like, he's leaving self-aware. Like at least he's leaving. Even his conversation with what's his name, Jeff? I can tell you what that means.
Like,
Jerry.
Sorry, Jerry.
It was Jerry, right?
Yeah, but even with his conversation with Jerry, he was so self-aware in the fact that he did this to himself. And honestly, I'm surprised it took him this long to get the boot. To be quite frank, but alas, his time has come.
Real quick, is Jerry O'Connell the next host of Big Brother once Julie's all said and done? How do you guys feel about Jerry's performance yesterday?
His performance yesterday was fine. He was Jerry. Apparently, he's usually that bubbly, and he was very, he's like, coming up next, stay with us. And I didn't really care for that, but he's typically, I guess, like that. But that being said, no, he's not the next host.
Yeah, I don't care for it. Maybe it's because I don't know CBS's host roster per se. But I don't know. I think his energy is nice, but he feels like more of a family game show host than he does Big Brother. And maybe that's what they're trying to do with this show because it's become more campy over the years. But to me, he just doesn't fit the bill. I do like Chen Bot, early Julie Chen. And I think because she's been so long, we tolerate some of the hosting skills she's giving us now. Doesn't mean that she's a bad host. It's just her evolution sometimes feels like it's not consistent with the show. And so I don't know. I kind of wish they flew out Arissa. That's just me personally. I'll do anything for a piece of Arissa Cox.
See, I said that originally, and then someone went under my tweet and was like, they can't do that because then she'll take her job. And I was like, yeah, you got a point. So you can't do it. Just maybe when she's done with Big Brother, then they'll look back into Arissa, but it made sense. I was like, okay, yeah, you can't have someone outshine the actual host. I get it. All right. So let's talk. Stop it. Sorry, my dog is tripping. Let's talk about these people. I say we start from the top to the bottom because last week Chelsea was at the top of the board. I'm curious to see if she stays at the top of the board. Dom, this is your first ranking. So how do you feel about Chelsea's game so far, and where would you rank Chelsea and why?
I think Chelsea's playing one of the best games in the house by far. I think Chelsea is locked in for final 2. I like how Chelsea's kind of navigated the game a little bit as far as between the trios. Granted, last week we probably should have got rid of somebody in the trio, to get some numbers down. So I think numbers outweigh, specific people. But that said, what Chelsea in general, she's winning competitions, she's talking, she has her Bible. She has a routine and she's following that routine and she's sticking to it, not only with the castmates, but with the crew too, with, the whole Jesus thing and stuff like that. So Chelsea knows what she's doing. And I'm excited to see how she does the later half, the back half of the game. This whole outside nonsense, I don't know how she's going to navigate with it. Oh, I'm probably jumping ahead, but
you're good. No, go for it. You're good.
But that being said, no, I think Chelsea's playing a really great game, and I'm really excited to see how she navigates. And yeah, I don't know how I would rank her. It's definitely not S tier for sure. I don't think she's an S tier this week. But I think she's definitely A or B for sure.
All right, how about you, Josie?
I am on the Chelsea train. I I love to see Black women succeed. What can I say? What can I say? Like, I can't make the music not bop. Like, Mama is doing what needs to be done every week. I think obviously the conversation of whether or not she should have targeted the trio will always be up to debate. But I think that Chelsea's also cemented herself as a visible threat almost. We saw Quinn talk about it this week on the episodes. He's talked about it a little bit on feeds, but she's clearly someone who's playing the game and playing the game well, and people are taking note of that. And so for her to, let's say, go after the trio, let's say she would have replaced the nominations and put another trio. Whoever stays outside of that trio, two of them are going after her, first of all. Second of all, she's already a big threat. So it wouldn't necessarily align with her right now. However, because the trio is still left in the house, now the conversation is these are a solid 3. All it takes now is 3 votes to be majority. So it's like, it's so ingrained in people's mind that there are 3, especially with Quinn's campaigning last week, that I feel like Chelsea is the least likely to be a threat this week. Obviously, you never know in this house, but I just think Cam is protecting her. I think Mackenzie's protecting her, and she misted Leah in their one-on-one today. So I genuinely think that this week she will not go, and I think her surviving this week, I think, is the biggest one, because let's say one of the trio goes, if we get a double eviction, they might just go, let's send the 2 of them home, because that's ensured jury votes as well. Like, there's just an argument that can always be made to put to Core a bigger threat, Rubina bigger threat, and Chemo bigger threat than her, but obviously she's playing the game. So
okay. Before I say what I gotta say, do we know who Leah is targeting for her HOH?
Someone in the comments just said that Rubina and Chemo are going on the block, and they just accepted it, and they've both given up their games for Chemo. I don't to Core. I don't know if that's 100% confirmed on feeds, but ultimately, I do think that that's what she was. That was the conversation she's been having all day with Cam, with Chelsea. She did talk to Core a little bit, and I think she was trying to soften the blow. So,
okay. For me, so I'm not gonna lie. A couple days ago, I was thinking about this, and I was just like, I'm dropping Chelsea to B, and I felt like Quinn was the wrong move. I still sort of feel that way because I feel like Quinn, in my opinion, had like 0 win equity. I felt like Quinn was an easy beat, and I feel like if you take care of someone like Leah, Quinn is like a lock for that side. But I feel like I'm not fully into that because he betrayed them before. So I'm gonna keep Chelsea where I had her. I guess like an A, but like a little bit lower of an A. I think she's playing a really good game. I think her and Takor are kind of battling for this top spot right now, and I'll get to her when we get to her. But it's really just going to come down to whoever wins HOHs or comps at this point. Like, who's going to be able to initiate battle against the other person's allies. And, you know, obviously, since Leah seems to be targeting Rubina and Chemo, I would say Chelsea's sort of winning that battle, because if she gets one of those people going, that's easily a point in Chelsea's favor. So I'm down to keep her in A. I was going to drop her, but now that I hear that, I'm going to keep her in there. I don't think she's doing bad. I think she's doing really good. I'm just curious if she's going to be the person to initiate like that war, or she can keep getting other people to do it for her. That's the only thing I'm a little worried about. But still playing a great game right now. So Chelsea.
I do think I do want to comment on what you just said, though, because the conversation about her going after Quinn also, I think it's important to note that there was something said this week that was like, I think there was abilities for a lot of groups of 3 to start forming this last week. So obviously we have the trio that we know of, and then there was conversations about Angela, Leah, and Quinn. Obviously they have their beef, but I do think that Leah really solidified that and made it a 3. And I think Quinn is smart enough to put whatever he has against Angela to the side if it benefits him, and then Cam, Mackenzie, and Chelsea as another 3. So I think Chelsea recognizes that Leah is a threat to her game, and I do agree that Leah is a threat to her game. So her taking out Quinn, despite not taking Leah out, I think taking out Quinn does actually wonders for her as well, because Leah is one less person. Takor's not going to turn on Chelsea. That's what she says. And because she kept Chemo last week, Rubina and Chemo will not go after her. Getting rid of Quinn gets rid of a number for Leah, and she can still be like, well, I saved you because Angela threw you under the bus and I still chose you over Quinn. Like, she has some leeway as well. So I think that was just important to know.
So she's not turning on Chelsea, right? But she's not. I don't think it's the same kind of like safety for her allies, because we did see her kind of initiate some conversations about like we should look at Mackenzie, we should look at Cam, and I don't think Chelsea's doing that. I don't think Chelsea even has people like Chemo or Rubina super on her like target list right now, and I think that's a little worrisome. Like, obviously she's very fortunate that Leah won HOH this week, but let's say that side does win. If they ever get the opportunity to take a shot at one of her numbers, like, it's not going to look good, you know? So even coming into this week, let's say one of them win the veto or whatever and take themselves off the block. I think Mackenzie's such an easy person to possibly go up on that spot and get booted out. You know, like, I think Chelsea's being a little too patient with like when we need to initiate war, where Takor's already ready. She's already talking about this stuff, you know? And you know, it's a very small complaint out of like the amazing stuff that she's doing, but like I just think that like she needs to be a little bit more proactive with like, all right, let's start plotting on this side, because she's trying to protect this side, and that's good, but like they're not, I don't see any of these three taking Chelsea to the end. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you need to like be making plans now to be taking these people out, not later. Takor's doing it now, you know. So that's all. But Leah coming at that side, that's good stuff. So I'm with y'all. And I'm a yapper. I apologize. All right.
No, don't apologize.
So let's go to Takor. So Josie, how do you feel about Takor? Because we were just talking about her a little bit. How do you feel about it?
Takor, I feel like, has played the long game and she's reaping the benefits of it. I think the first few weeks, I know, controversial, but I do think her social game was on point from day one, and she made these relationships, and now people are saying stuff like, oh, I would rather go after Chemo and Rubina over Takor. Like, to them, Takor is a last resort. And even then, I don't know if Takor gets in a room with one of them and starts talking to them, that I believe she can convince herself not to go on the block regardless. So I do think that her social game is so on point. But the fact that she is in this trio, while it is gaining her jury votes for sure, it's making her also a threat as a whole. She needs for one or maybe two people to go and solidify herself with other people outside of those two to make it to the final two, so that she already has the votes and she can win. However, her loyalness to Chemo and Rubina is almost seen as a fault. Like, her getting mad at Quinn for putting up Chemo last week. I know I wasn't here to talk about that, but it's like, baby girl, this is an individual game. He didn't go after you. He told you he was going to protect you. Yes, he's going after your numbers. I get how that can be upsetting for your game, but you should look at this as a wake-up call. Like, if it is the case that one of these people go home, I need to be protected. I think she's protective, but I think people are willing to take the shot, so she really needs to solidify some stuff this week. But ultimately, I think she's playing a great game overall, and I think she's playing the game that she wants to play and that she'll be proud with, and she wants to go by the loyalty thing, but she has also allies who are willing to do the same with her. So, you know, it's like, yeah, it could be detrimental, but at the end of the day, it's getting her points, and she got her trio to the jury, which was the most important move for her game.
Absolutely. It was very important. I feel like with the trio and with Takor making it to the jury, she has pretty much said, like, yeah, I'm going to keep voting you guys out over them. And, you know, what are you going to do about it? And she kind of walks around like that, too. And I really like that about Takor, is that she's confident in her game style and how she's playing, but she's also at the same time playing to the other side. She's talking to them. She's making sure she's making those relationships, too. But they know they come first, and she has no issue letting them know that they come first either. And I love that about Takor. I definitely think getting the trio to the jury and having those numbers, especially now at final 8 and then let's say at final 7, that's huge. And she is leading that essentially. And if Chemo and Rubina, if they don't do anything soon, which we'll get to them, of course, then it's T-Core's game to lose at this point. But that said, I definitely like T-Core's game and what she's doing and how she's maneuvering around. And yeah, I really like it. I'd rank her pretty high.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Real quick, I'm Josie. Where'd you say you would put her?
Oh, I didn't say I would put her anyway. I think I don't think I can put her in the A tier. I just
really okay.
The reason why I don't think that is just because while I do think she's playing a flawless game, there's things that she adamantly, well, not flawless game, sorry, or else she would be an ass, but she's playing a good game. However, I just feel like there's things that she could do to actively secure her place. And I think she's kind of been, I don't know if complacent is the right word, so I'm going to use it for lack of a better one, but almost like comfortable in the fact that she has her 3 and that I don't think she's going to make strides to do anything until she's forced to. And I think she needs to be proactive. I think she lacks a little proactiveness. Whereas I feel like Chelsea has been proactive this entire time because she was at the bottom and she's been able to rise that ladder up again. So I could put her in A if you guys want to debate that, but I don't think I can put her ahead of Chelsea for sure.
Moses, I'm shocked Josie's putting her A tier.
You know what? And Moses, I don't know what I did to you. I don't know if it's because I was coming for Cam in early of the seasons, rightfully so, mind you, rightfully so.
Oh, God.
But I make sense. I use logic. Come on, don't play with me. Don't play with me.
Go ahead, Don.
No, I could probably put T-Core in the A tier. I don't think I have the strength to debate you over Chelsea or not, but I definitely think I can put her in the A tier for sure. I think her game's pretty strong. To this point, she hasn't been nominated yet. She has her core alliance. Everyone knows that's her alliance. She's like the new Tucker at this point. Everyone knew Tucker was the threat, and Tucker could just walk around until they got him out. And T-Core is just walking around until they can get him out, and I think T-Core is doing that. So I think T-Core is essentially the huge threat right now that's still in the game. I think her game's slightly better than Chelsea. She could edge it out just a little bit. Now I'm debating it just a little bit. And I think it's just because she hasn't been nominated. No one's looking at her as the threat. I think I was even watching the feeds today, and somebody was like, I think we all could use you or something. There was some line someone said, and that perked me up. And I'm like, you guys are still not. And it was her talking to Leah. So I think that made a little more sense because Leah also hasn't been nominated. So I'll give some grace there. But no, they still want to use T-Core, and they still need T-Core in the game. And I love that. I love that about her game. So
yeah, I was gonna, and I've been very vocal on how I don't care for T-Core's game this season. I think T-Core is playing the best game this season, but I wouldn't put her over Chelsea because people are actively bringing her names up for we can't sit next to Leah last week. We saw her. If Chelsea's crazy, if she thinks that sitting next to T-Core gets her a win because T-Core will beat her. We saw people like Quinn start bringing up people like T-Core and Chelsea. But I feel like I'm seeing T-Core's name pop up a lot more. That people are talking about this trio a lot more. And until someone effectively gets one of the 3 out, I can't hate on her game too much. But I am going to put her behind Chelsea in A tier because I feel like Chelsea isn't being targeted as actively as T-Core is. I feel like people are looking at this trio a lot more now that the numbers are getting smaller. But the fact that they even allowed a trio to get this far still, and they still have a chance to survive this week is completely ridiculous. And I think Chelsea's inability to just take a shot at this side, although it's good, is why don't you just do it? Just you could take this whole entire house over to me if you so people are afraid of smoke. I'm now is the time to just do it. Rip off the Band-Aid. Leah will be behind you. You could do whatever you want right now. I feel like Chelsea specifically could do whatever she wants and will not get targeted of anyone of any real threat. You know what I'm saying? T-Core, she has to tread carefully. That's why she makes these crazy moves last second. But Chelsea can really do whatever, I feel like. But I think Takor is going to be Chelsea's soft spot, and until I see Chelsea like make plans against Takor, I think Takor right now is playing the best game. So, but Chelsea's in a better position, so I would put her behind Naya unless someone wants to fight me on that. I think this is the.
I think you both are. Oh.
I want to. No, I'm keeping her. I want to rebuttal a point because I think it's important to note that the juries, I can't speak on these people's characters personally. I don't know what they're going to be like in the jury house, whatever. But let's be real. People are bitter. They're going to be bitter regardless. I don't know how many of them are going to be bitter, but they're going to be bitter. If Chelsea takes a shot at the trio, let's say, right? Again, the trio is going to go after her because they're going to feel some type of way, rightfully so. And also, it's like she's already a big threat. Someone like Cam, who's been actively saying that he will go after Chemo and Rubina, we are seeing Leah doing the exact same thing. To me, I just don't see why it been like, yes, it's the move. But if she does the move, she becomes the move. And so she won't make it to the end. I know that obviously the trio is a big number, but they're a target. Big targets like Chelsea have to keep an even bigger target. Does that mean that like she should go to Final Four with them? Absolutely not. But I think that her not going after them directly and having her allies do it will ensure that, one, they can't really be bitter at her because she's not the one who did the move. Maybe she did the vote. She can justify the vote. But if she pulls the trigger, she has people going after her. She's already the biggest threat. And she might have a better jury. She needs to have people who are going to vote for her at the end. Yes, it's great to be a great player. Anthony Douglas, for example, I'm not going to take away from Bailey. And when I say this, I'm not taking away from Bailey. But Anthony played the game. Don't even play with me. Y'all can't even debate me on that one. He played the game. The issue is that he had, one, no numbers in the jury, and two, people were bitter. So, yes, if Chelsea doesn't move and she makes it to the end, that's great. But will she get the votes? I don't know. I think keeping the trio on her good side and letting other people do the move, yes, it could be dangerous. They can be like, well, this was the move of the season. But I believe she has a strong enough narrative that her not necessarily doing the move directly won't impact her when she does her final speech. And she can speak. Like, I don't know if y'all saw the scene with her and Angela this week, but my God, like when she was talking about Taylor, I was like, yes,
but like
back her up. Like I was getting hyped. So I know she can speak. We've seen her even in her real life. I think she does public speaking or something like that. I genuinely don't think that she needs this move for her resume. And also I don't think that she needs this move because if she does it, she will be the person to have to go out. And whoever takes out Chelsea will win the game, in my opinion.
But with that logic, shouldn't she have taken a shot at Leah instead of Quinn?
I think Leah, no offense to Quinn, but wait, maybe that is offensive. Let me rephrase. Let me give you a second. But I just think that Quinn is he is a super fan. I do think that he thinks about the game, and I do think that he knows that Chelsea is a target, yes. But I think that Chelsea has a bigger ability to miss someone like Leah over someone like Quinn. I think Quinn is, despite his flaws and his gameplay, I do think that he has a good mind of the game, and regardless, he will do anything to win. And someone like that who can cut you easily is someone dangerous. I think he has that ability more than Leah. I think also that Quinn was gonna potentially prioritize other people above Chelsea. Plus, she doesn't trust him. Trust is everything in this game. Like, let's be frank. He did his bed. Like, Leah has not done anything to Chelsea for her to be like, I can't trust you, quite frankly. And it's working out in her favor because Leah's not going after her. I know she was talking about it with Angela, but look, she ain't going to do it.
All right. Well, listen, this is going to be a fun back and forth. I'm curious to see how it ends up. We have a lot. All right, we got to talk about these. I don't think we're going to spend as much time on a lot of these other people. There's still some interesting people I want to talk about. Let's talk about Mackenzie. I last week got Mackenzie at C, top of C. And I think Mackenzie and Leah, and I'll talk about Leah a little bit more when we get to them, but I think Mackenzie is, like, in my opinion, the next she's in that echelon of people after Mackenzie and Chelsea after T-Core and Chelsea that I'm like, they could possibly steal this season. I do like MJ's game. I don't know if Quinn going was like the best for Mackenzie's game. I actually think that it was a major loss for a potential ally to do something down the road for Mackenzie. But position wise, I do like Mackenzie. I do think even though that she isn't like this like showmance or flirtmance or whatever you want to call it, at this point it's like that she was going to get targeted with Cam regardless because they're on the opposite side of Ticora's group. So like, who cares? I think this is like a good like lock for like a potential ally towards the end, maybe if she can get in Cam's head or something. But regardless, I do like Mackenzie's game, but I feel like she's actively making moves against her better judgment because she's listening to Chelsea a lot. You know, I think that a lot of her potential allies just went home, like Joseph and Quinn. I think that those are like potential numbers. They obviously didn't have a working relationship, but there could have been something there because like she's like in this floater position. Like the way I saw Mackenzie's game last week was like if she gets deep enough and gets to that point where she could like, let's say somehow her Cam and Chelsea make it to the final three and she's in a spot to like do what Steve did to Vanessa. Like that's something, right? But she has a very specific path depending on like what other people do. So like I'm not going to rank her too high. I actually am going to drop her a little bit. Like I'm still going to put her in C, and you'll see like where specifically when we place other people. But like I would put her in C, like around that mid area, because I do think she's, even though she's in like a steady spot, it's like losing Quinn was I don't think that was the best move for her, and I think that she recognizes that, but she was just trying to not rock the boat too much. How do you guys feel about Mackenzie?
I think Mackenzie is pretty much the definition of a floater. You know, like she is truly floating from side to side, and I don't think she really has any concrete in her game. I know she's won competitions and she's definitely, you know, made some moves, but like nothing memorable, nothing to where people are going to be on her side long term, I feel like. And if she is, then oh my God, you blindsided me as well. But that being said, yeah, no, I agree. I don't think Mackenzie has longevity. I don't think she's really done anything to cement her place in the game. But love the girl.
How about you, Josie?
I am ready to declare that I am on the MJ train. Yes. What a way we've come. I know I compared her week one maybe to gorgeous, gorgeous gowns, but she was serving that. But now she's giving me something else, though. It's like, I feel like now the players are waking up. It's like her and players like Cam, I felt were a little asleep, but now they're a little bit up. And I'm here for it. MJ specifically, here's why. So far in this game, she has been a part of the deciding vote each and every single time. She wins the BBAI arena. She comes in, and when she wins and she gets the ability to vote, she makes things change. We saw that last week with the chemo vote. We saw that previously, and again and again and again and again. And I think she has the arguments to back why she could win. I think she is up there. Whether or not she can make that case, I don't know yet, but I recognize is real. And I see her, and I want her to be valued. I think this week specifically, I know that whether or not Quinn was a good move for her, I don't know. The thing is that no one has full loyalty to her. Like Quinn could say that, yeah, he would have been loyal to Mackenzie, but at what point? Like, what number was she on his list? She was probably the last on the list. Like, personally, I mean, maybe that's something for us to ask Quinn when we interview him on Monday, but that's just how I feel based off the material we've seen. So, quite frankly, being fifth on the list, it's pretty much how Takor and Chemo felt about the collective. It makes sense to want to shift things up and go from the bottom of the list. I think ultimately, you know, I don't think she's going to go up this week, which is really good. You know, I think she has the ability to win competitions, which is great. And I feel like now that she's latched on to Chelsea, I feel like she has someone to finally bounce ideas off. It's like she replaced Brooklyn. It took some time, but she's here now. And I think that's really good because when those two talk, whether or not I agree with them sometimes, it gives them more knowledge and more information and more things to move forward and someone to bounce ideas off of, which can be important when you're playing this game. Do I think she's playing the best game out of everyone in the house? No, but I do think for this last week that we witnessed, I think she ate it up. She ate it up. Like, quite frankly, she's not the biggest threat. She has Takor, Chelsea, Chemo, and Rubina, who are bigger targets than her. Like, yeah, she's won some comps, but let's be for real. If she can argue why she's less of a threat than the four of them, she can make it to at least, I think, Final Four. At least. And then maybe she can win her way to that final seat chair. Now, is she going to cut Chelsea? I don't know. I do think she plays with her heart sometimes, but it's still early days for that conversation. So I don't know. I kind of want to put her in B, but.
So if you asked me last week, I would have been with you. But hearing Takor talk to Rubina and Chemo about like, let's go after Cam and Mackenzie next time we get power is very concerning. Like, I think she's great. I think that she has a good position. I think that she is a blind spot for Chelsea now that I see that Takor is looking at her. But I feel like if one of those people get power and they decide to put on some big boy pants and go after this side, I feel like Mackenzie would go home over Cam. I'm not even going to lie. Even looking at the current house structure, after this week, like, unless like the veto gets used, if the veto gets used, I can see Mackenzie going on the block or Angela, one of the two. But next week, I also can see Mackenzie being the person going. Oh yeah, Leah's. So I can see Mackenzie going on the block this week if the veto gets used, and then next week, despite let's say Rubina or Chemo go, unless that side wins again, I could see Mackenzie being the person to get targeted immediately. Once that other side gets power, like I am a little afraid for her because she's being seen as in like this duo with Cam. She doesn't have any concrete like final twos with anyone. Even in the group that she's in, she's at the complete bottom because I think Cam and Chelsea are like locked at this point. Takor side doesn't really mess with her, like trying to take her to the end. Like, so that's Takor, Rubina, Chemo, Cam, and Chelsea not taking her to the end. You're relying on Angela and Leah at this point, and Leah and Mackenzie don't really get on the same page, as you can see the last week. So it's like, I don't really know what the path is for her. It's going to be involved with like a lot of luck and what are you doing? A lot of luck and a lot of just like, it really just depends on timing. You know what I'm saying? Just like Steve, it took like very specific things to happen for like people like Steve or Josh Martinez or these kind of players to like get in that position to make that big move and win. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not counting her out. I'm still down for to be like, I see the resume for her, but I don't know if she's in the best position to actually get to the end. It's going to be very rocky roads if she does get there. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't put her in B, but like I would keep her in C.
The only rebuttal I'll say to that is that I feel like you can say that argument technically about anyone, quite frankly. If the other side,
not everybody,
this person is in trouble, right? Like Leah, which I think she will do, if she does put Rubina and Chemo on the block, Takor is going to feel some way. Whoever the two stays, we can say that side wins. Leah's going to go on the block. Like, we could say that exact same thing. We can say that exact same thing about Cam. If that side wins, Cam can go on the block. Like, there's arguments for at least the three of them that are currently in that last C tier. Mm-hmm. However, I think what distinctions, like the reason why I'm like, oh, for the week we just saw, she deserves B, is because she was in the power position. And I think she's made very good strides to be in the place she's in. I think her momentum from where she was at from the beginning to this point in time and being those pivotal votes has led her to get to this point. MJ 2 weeks ago would not have made it to jury. Let's be quite frank. But she's done the moves and the strides to do so. And yes, she is a target, but so is everyone in this house. Angela's probably going to go on the block next week as well. Like, you can kind of make that argument for anyone about them going on the block. The only people who look like they have really solid, like paths to the end are the people we put in A. So I just can't see, if we don't put her in B, which is fine. I'm not going to say like it's do or die. I literally don't see anyone else in this cast we can put in B. Like,
I agree with that. But I will say my only rebuttal to that point you said like anyone could be in that spot. Yes, I feel like you can find someone for the rest of the cast to vouch for them. I think Mackenzie is the only person that doesn't have anyone vouching for her.
I think Chelsea would vouch for her, and I do think Cam would vouch for her.
If it was Cam and Mackenzie on the block, hypothetically, who do you think Chelsea's going to be trying to save?
Cam.
Well, I do think she's going to try to save Cam. Yes, but
if Mackenzie is ever a final nom against anyone else in the house,
okay, let me tell you this, and
I'm just saying,
you guys can take my word for it. I will live by this. If Mackenzie and Cam are initial noms the next following week, there's no way that after the POV, both of them are still on the block. I'm going to say it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You could put this clip. But even if they are the two nominees, I do not think in good faith that those two will stay on the block by the eviction vote. Genuinely. Because that's the point you're making. But I don't think in the long term.
No, that's not the point. I'm just saying.
And I think that one of them will get saved.
I'm just saying every other person in this cast will have at least one person trying to protect them and save them. I don't think anyone's going to do that for Mackenzie, depending on who she said.
We've been saying that about Angela, and look at her.
Leah got Angela now.
She got saved twice.
Leah, she's a pawn, bro. We'll get to her when we get to her.
Wait, we don't think Leah would try to save Mackenzie?
I think she would.
I don't.
They need each other, honestly.
It's not hard.
We'll see.
So I mean, I don't know if she can.
You're the tiebreaker, Dom. Where you putting her?
I
B or C. B or C, well, so we can move on.
I would probably put her. I was gonna say B, but there's a lot more negative for Mackenzie, so I'm gonna say C. I'm gonna say C. I think she's a C tier.
I see. There you go.
All right, I'll take it. It's fine, but you agree with my points, correct?
Absolutely, to a degree. Let's go to Cam. Don, how you feel about Cam?
I love me some Cam. Cam-malicious. He's so chill, but I don't know, I guess too much about where his game is going. He doesn't really talk a lot about his game, and if he does, I'm completely missing it. I believe he's been on the right side of the vote for the most part, except that one time with Chelsea. I believe he was on the wrong side, and he was really upset about that. But he tends to vote, how he wants to vote. He plays the game. He's still in the house, and I think if he just keeps walking around with his shirt off and keeping the vibes, I think I would want to keep him in the house longer too. I know it's mainly like women in the house, but like we need someone to look at. We ain't got TV, so we ain't got TV. We got Cam, so that's perfect. That being said, I would rank Cam, if I had to rank Cam, right behind Mackenzie. Honestly, I don't think he's a B tier. I don't think he's A tier, but I don't think he's D either. I think he's playing a good game. So,
how about you, Josie?
So, Dom, let me fill you in some history with Cam. Okay. When I first got on the show, I said Cam's giving furniture. I got really annoyed with Cam simply because of the fact that I felt like some of his genetics, his backgrounds were helping him, but not necessarily that he was doing anything to be in specific alliances, like that first big group that like dissipated. Like, I felt like he was giving nothing. Okay. Right. And you know what? I started to become Team Cam after that week where I felt like he finally woke up when he won that POV. That was the first time I was like, Cam's doing something for once, like whatever. And that 1 week solidified me to be on the Cam train. It also helps that he's fine. Let's be for real. When they were talking about his tattoos, I was like, yeah, I get it, Chelsea. I get it. Like, I don't blame you, sister. I'm right there with you. But I think the issue with what Cam was doing in the past and what he's doing now are like starting to catch up. I think the issues about him liking Leah, I think they're coming to fruition again with Mackenzie. I think you can also give that argument for Leah because they're still at times flirting with each other. So that was the main issue I had with his game prior to that POV. And so now I feel like that issue that I felt like died down a little bit is coming back to the surface, especially with Chelsea. We saw it this week. She questioned him. She said, you know what? I don't know if at the end of the day, if you have to pick between me and Leah, you're going to pick me, which is a little worrisome. And I know that he was hurt by it. I understand why he was hurt by it, but I feel like that should have been a wake-up call. And I don't know if it really hit like it should have for him at that point. She's your number one. She's actually someone who's going to have your back. We've seen Leah talk crap about Cam and make it clear that she really don't care that much. I think she needs him now because Joseph is gone. Quinn has gone. And so now that's her last resort. That's her last choice. But that's not great. That's not great gameplay. It just so happens that it's circumstances. And those aren't moves that he did to secure Leah. It just so happened that that's how the game went down. So in that sense, I feel like that's where I feel like Cam's game is missing a lot, that element. But I think ultimately, like, he's doing the best he can with the circumstances he got, you know? I don't think he started this game flawlessly, and I think now he's playing with what he has. So he's, again, reaping what he sows, like everyone else in this house has to do. Mm-hmm. So he's playing the game, I think, the best he can do. I just hope that he continues to reassure Chelsea and that he still continues to maintain those relationships. But if Chelsea flips on him, his game is over. Yes, it could be great to have Mackenzie and Leah, but they are not in power positions. Chelsea is. So I want him to really continue to reassure her. I know that might be annoying, but that's the game. That's what he needs to do, in my opinion. So I do think he's C tier. I do want to see a Cam HOH because I think the moves that he thinks he needs to do are absolutely correct. I think he does need to get rid of Rubina and Chemo. I think those are two people who would put him up regardless. It's just I don't know if he has the numbers at this point to make that move unless Chelsea gets on board. Which is, I guess, the main hindrance. But I think he should get HOH. I think if Leah does this move this week and he gets one of them out and he wins the next week, I absolutely can see Cam in a Final Four, Final Three.
I agree. To add to your point, what you were saying, I think this is the perfect week too for Cam to have a Leah HOH, just so Leah can see Chelsea can see the conversations that Cam and Leah are having. So that way, you know, she can't, you know, get paranoid or anything. And that way Cam can tell the truth to Chelsea. Like, hey, like, you know, you saw us talking, like, you know, this is what we were talking about. Like, these are the conversations we were having. So if there's any week for Leah to have HOH for Cam's sake, it's this week. And I think that's great for Cam. So what were you going to say, Yazzie?
Moses in the chat wants to know, Josie, what does that have to do with this game, though? Cam is safe with Leah.
To what point did I make? Like, I don't know what made that reaction. I think I said it already. I think he needs to really make sure that Chelsea won't turn on him and reassure her. I think that's what I'm saying. Is Cam's game my favorite? No. That doesn't mean that it's a bad game. It's just not personally the game that I sit around and enjoy or would want to play if I got in the house. So like I can't fault him. He's playing the game that he built up in the beginning, but I got annoyed at the beginning. We saw it. We could roll the tapes. I thought his game was boring. I thought he was giving us nothing. And I was just really disappointed because I think Cam has potential. And we saw that potential once he won that POV. That's why I said I'm Team Cam now. Because finally he tapped into the potential. It was lacking a little. Like, Let's be real. Like, you know, and he's saying that Moses is saying that Cam isn't Chelsea's boyfriend. I get it, but it's the game that he has to play. Like, it doesn't matter if it's not his boyfriend or girlfriend. This is not a love dating reality show. It's Big Brother. And what he needs to do is solidify Chelsea and make sure that she won't turn on him or have doubts in him because she will destroy his game. If Chelsea, the moment Chelsea turns, his game is over. Y'all can't tell me nothing about that. I think I made my points. I think they're very clear. I do think Cam can win this game. I think he has the right mindset. Am I the biggest fan of the game, of his gameplay? No, but that's fine.
I think I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're. I think to that point, what Moses is saying about the whole boyfriend thing, I think this season specifically, love has been like a huge factor in the game. Yeah, like Tucker and Chemo, you know, have Cam and Leah. you have all these relationships, like, building, but people are also kind of liking each other in those as well. And I think to that point, with Aaliyah HOH, there's Chelsea there too, who also, might have a little thing for Cam too. I think, love and romance can kind of play a factor into the game. It's not a dating show, obviously. But I do think that, factoring those factors in when you're playing the game of Big Brother, especially with people, you're not kissing for so many days, or having sex, or doing all these things, going on dates, and stuff like that. And you're missing those things in the house. I think we forget sometimes too, especially like back when Big Brother first started, like how they were a family, and so I think we've lost that a little bit. And I think we're getting that back a little bit, where they're like, oh, I think you're cute, I think you're cute, not specifically, but like, they like these people. So I definitely think the dating aspect has played a part in it for sure.
I think Cam has the third best winning chances out of anyone in the cast. Just because I've been saying this all season, I think his position's good. I'm not against him being in this whole showman's thing, because I don't think he would be the one to go if they were both targeted at the same time. And I think people like Cam. I think people would vote for him, and I think he can win competitions. And he's in with Chelsea. The only thing that's stopping me from putting him in the B tier for my ranking, is the same thing that's kind of bringing Chelsea down a little bit for me, which is they have T-Core as a soft spot. They want to give T-Core a second chance, which is a little confusing since T-Core has burnt both of them numerous times. And to hear them be like, Quinn burnt us during the Pentagon, so we can't trust him again. It's like, okay, I agree, but so did T-Core pretty badly. And she got Cedric out because of it, and they're kind of letting it slide, So I think them trusting her again is good for the short term, but a major mistake for the long term, especially Cam, because she's already looking at the guy. Chelsea will always be protected, but Cam will be in mass danger, and I don't think T-Core is going to value Cam over Rubina or Chemo at any point, so I think it's a little bit of a blind spot for Cam, so I'm going to put him below Mackenzie, as Dom was saying, but I still like his chances. I mean, he has a shot, but I think that I'm slowly seeing his game deteriorate just a smidge, but still he's not doing bad.
I mean, I will say, I'm not, that doesn't change the positioning, but
yeah, you go.
I do want to say that I think why they're more lenient with T-Core than Quinn is that I think they can empathize with why T-Core did the move, whereas they cannot empathize with Quinn doing the move.
Right. Because you can empathize with anybody, but when it comes down to winning that game, that empathy don't mean nothing. T-Core is ready to get him out of here. That's what I'm saying. But the thing
is, I'm making a point about why you're Quinn burnt them and T-Core burnt them.
I understand why.
I don't think the degree of the burn was the same, and that's why there's leniency. And obviously, do I think that they should be protecting T-Core? No. But at the end of the day, there's also a level of that also plays a part for it, for at least Chelsea and Cam, which is, we're not speaking about directly, but I think that's important. Does T-Core have the same values? I can't speak on that.
No.
Je sais pas. But
I've said it multiple times. T-Core is not with the Black movement to this season. I've been saying that.
I'm going to continue the whole thing about Chelsea, though. Her and Chelsea are good.
Chelsea. That's
exactly done.
She's with Black women, and that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But she's already blindsided Cedric, and she's already plotting against Cam. That does not matter. Okay, she is taking Rubina and Chemo over Cam, and she's already talking about targeting him. I'm sorry, I don't want to drag T-Core because I like T-Core. I think, like I said, she has a great social game. She has a better social game than Quinn. So I agree with you, Josie. But I still think that this is hurting Cam Because she
No,
is
absolutely.
not her end game. That's what I'm saying.
I don't disagree with that at all. I'm like, I think we're all agreeing on those things. I think the nuances between why we agree are slightly different. So, like 100%, I 100% see the big main idea. Do I agree with all of it to a degree? Not necessarily, but we on the same page. So let's think something for that.
Can we be real? And then we can move on because like I got something to do after this. Can we be real, y'all? Is race a factor in Cam's thinking? I do think that he wants to work with Takor and Chelsea to the end. I do think that he wants to try that again. I think that especially with Chelsea and Cam, I do think that they want to see Black excellence in the final three. I can't say the same for Takor, but I do think Cam in Chelsea do want to do that. I think Takor is focused on the win. And there's nothing wrong with that. She's trying to get the win, and she needs to do what she needs to do. They're both trying to get the win. They just have different ways of doing it and different values about it. And that's perfectly fine. Do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying?
I think that the blindness that you guys were saying that, like, Cam and Chelsea have towards Sakura, she has the same thing except towards Rubina and Chemo. So that's why, to me, it's like, it's the same thing. Obviously, Takor is in a really good game position because she has a lot of people actively backing her. But I think it's also the people who are backing her, she is letting her letting her game go to a detriment, which we already talked about, right? I do think, to answer the question, it's hard for me to 100% say yes because Cam is not that vocal. Like, I feel like when I watch the shows and I get a Cam DR, I finally get what he's actually thinking. Like, I don't know if that's just my sentiment, but that's how I feel. Like, I genuinely feel like the only time I really know what's going on in Cam is when we get a DR. And I don't know if the DR will ask him the question, who do you want to be in a final three with, until like maybe final five. So I don't know if that's 100% true because he has other relationships with Mackenzie and Leah in the house. So it's hard for me to say, but I do know that Takor and Cam have this like brother-sister relationship, and they've built a mini family dynamic between the three of them. So is it very possible, very likely? Yes, but I can't 100% say yes because we haven't had verbal confirmation from Cam that that's the truth 100%.
All right, let's move on. There's a lot I want to talk about, but like we don't got time. All right, so Leah, and I feel like after Leah, the rest is kind of like, well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. All right, Leah is HOH. Josie, what does Leah need to do to move up on this ranking?
For me, well, yeah. I think Leah's lost. I'm gonna be honest. Leah's kind of like she's not in the best position in the house. She's at the bottom. She's lost two good allies back to back to back, and she's kind of like almost tied herself to Angela. Which, don't get me wrong, I love me some Angela on the TV. Like, I think she's providing, but in terms of gameplay strategically, she's not really a good ally to have, to be quite frank, because she sold Leah to the river, to Chelsea, like not that long ago. So like, I don't think she has that many allies. I think her taking a shot at the three is great, but it can have repercussions. But I think her taking a shot at Chelsea can also have repercussions. So she's in a position where she really needs to climb to the top. And I think she just needs to keep pushing that other people are targets, because I don't think anyone's really loyal to Leah. There's been multiple times and multiple weeks where they've discussed her going on the block. Last week, she could have possibly gone up on the block except for Quinn, over Quinn. Same thing with Joseph. Same week with the week after that. Like, she's just never been in a good position. So I don't think there's one specific move that she needs to do. I think it's a series of moves. I think she's heading in the right direction. I think she has sometimes a mind for the game, but it's not that simple as being like, she needs to get rid of this person because she's going to get repercussions. And two, like, there's not that many people loyal to her. So I think what she needs to do is get the least amount of blood on her hands, even if it's not the biggest move ever, so that she can solidify relationships and push other people to be the main targets. That's what I think she needs to do.
How about you, Dom?
I think Leah losing Quinn definitely woke her up. She stayed loyal to Quinn till the end. We all found out she had a crush on. She liked Quinn. That was news.
Everyone was talking shit too.
We were clowning him.
Mad crap about him. you know what? Leah's a girl
Yeah.
full of surprises. Okay.
Woo! But no, I think it woke Leah up, and I've been a Leah fan for the last couple of weeks. I didn't really care for her at first, but these last few weeks, I love me some Leah. Like, I think she's great. I think the way she's walking around the house, I think she could have better relationships. Like you said, she could, form better, solid more relationships and talk to people more. I also think, give me one moment. I've been interviewing like all day too, so woo.
You're doing amazing.
Thank you, sweetie. But that being said, no, I definitely think Leah, with this HOH, one thing that I noticed is she's gonna have everyone in one room with her. And for her to not have the best relationships, and I know I've stated this before, but in this sense, her not having the best relationships, she's going to get a screenshot or a screen view of how the house looks right in front of her. And I know when we play like orgs and LRGs and stuff like that, like it's pretty simple for us to see that, but she's going to get that in the Big Brother house. She's not the first, obviously, but like she's going to see everyone in front of her. And if she really takes advantage of this and just really looks around and forms these alliances and relationships, I definitely think going to the final 7, she can set herself up. So
I don't know what the correct move is for Leah, because I think losing Quinn was kind of like the death to her game. I was high on Leah's game. I still am a little bit, because I think that she could do something like Mackenzie. But I really don't know what she needs to do here. I mean, it seems like she has a good thing with Angela, but one of you guys said it earlier in the podcast, this is like trios now. You got like Takor, Rubina, Chemo, and then you got Cam, Mackenzie, and Chelsea. And then you kind of just have Leah and Angela kind of like injured, like an injured little bird over here, right? And it's like, all right, we need to weaken one of these trios. You got to wage war against one of them. I mean, my chaotic ass, like, I was just like, put up Chelsea and Takor and see what happens, because I genuinely don't know what to do. But, like, that's obviously not the right move. I don't know what Leah has to do. I'm usually sitting here like, she has to do this, this, and that. I really don't know what she has to do because, like, regardless of what happens, I can easily see Leah getting targeted next week. I can easily see Leah being at the bottom of whatever side she puts her allegiances towards. I think this game's over for Leah. I'm gonna be real with you, but I personally, if I'm Leah, I would call you need a hard reset, and the only way to do a hard reset is to put Takor and Chelsea up. She's not going to do it, so don't do it. But she needs to like have mass chaos just to see what happens at this point. Otherwise, we're just kind of just here until she loses, in my opinion. So that's obviously not going to happen. Doesn't mean just saying put up Takor and Chelsea and let's like Chelsea and Takor go against each other and force those two to campaign against each other and do certain things. But she's not going to do that. That's unfortunately not what's going to happen. I'm going to put Leah in D. I like her. I think that there's some way somehow she could still win if she gets Cam or Mackenzie to like specifically Mackenzie to come over to her side, but like I just don't see it. I don't see the game for Leah, and I think Quinn going was like the nail in her coffin. So I would put her in D
or D.
D.
Oh.
Dog. Yeah, I don't see it. I usually rank people high. Listen, she's not in the best spot. But I don't see her winning. It's over.
Let me just say something, right? I think this conversation about her putting up Chelsea and Takor, I want us to be real, game-wise. Entertainment-wise, that would be a chaotic week. That's such a good narrative for fun feats. But realistically, her taking that shot and putting both of them up would have the worst repercussions ever. I think the only way, and that's, great feeds, blah, 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 like whatever. I would love to see what would happen. But because then we would know who really is the creme de la creme, and that's T. But ultimately, I think that Kima would be mad. Rubina would be mad. Cam would be mad. MJ could possibly be mad. Like, it would just get too many people mad at her. It would give Angela HOH week 1. Don't shoot the mess. Like, let's be real. Like, it would be too messy and too chaotic. I do agree with the sentiment that, as we've talked about, there were trios, and Chelsea kind of took one trio off. I think the best move for Leah, I'm not saying that's the only move that she needs to do, But the best move she can do is be all in on one trio. Because if you're all in on one trio, that's the least amount of people mad at you. Whereas if you do both trios, then you got 4 people mad at you instead of 2. So like it just, aside for the nominees, if you think about it, if you're putting both nominees up, it would be 6 people mad at you instead of like 3. So it just doesn't make any sense for her to do that big move. Yes, great TV. It would shake up the house, blah, blah, blah. But I think the repercussions would be too severe with the position she is in. Because if she does that move, that doesn't mean she's going to solidify allies. Like, let's be frank. That doesn't mean she's going to solidify and get the numbers all of a sudden. That's not going to how it's going to work. It's going to be a war. And then whoever wins that war the next week, if they don't win, the other 2 will, it's just, I think it would be messy. It would be great television, but it's strategically not the best move for Leah. Like, I really don't see, like, that's one thing y'all won't change my mind on. Like, I don't see how that
my thing
long term.
If the painting's on the wall and like you're losing at this point, why just like have a slow death when you can just like see what happens? Like look, I'm gonna tell you, and I hate bringing this guy up. Dan Giesling, when the writing was on the wall, did the most weird shit, which was Dan's funeral, and it just works. It's weird. Like shit in Big Brother, there's plenty of seasons. It's not just that. There's plenty of seasons where you can just find like, why the hell did this work? And it just works. You know what I'm saying?
Give me 2 other examples that are not Dan Giesling. Quickly.
All right. Terrence putting up Joseph, sending him home. Where the hell did that come from? That's one of them. And then another thing.
And that benefits Terrence long term?
I'll give you Vanessa just randomly telling one of the Oz twins, yo, go put up Austin against Liz. And then it just worked. Like, so people, this house is shown to be like not the brightest. Like I'm just saying, you just do something, because Leah at this point, she's just like waiting to get to like 5th or 6th and just like lose, right? It's like at this point, unless let's say she does what you said, just side with Takor's side because they might go after Mackenzie and Cam. Cool, whatever. You're still gonna lose, but like it'll get you like a couple more spots up than before. Try something. If you're gonna lose, like try some. That's how I'm feeling. I'm one of those people. That's how I'm feeling. Let's make
why are we pretending her death? Why are
we need the entire house to explode and make these people who are at the top? She keeps saying Takor's going to win, Chelsea's going to win. Make this house explode and force people to pick a side. That's how I'm feeling. Make people reset their game. Mackenzie would reset her game if she has to. You know how I'm feeling? Chemo, I feel like will reset his game if he has to. These pieces are not going to. Rubina, Chemo, Cam, and Mackenzie, as long as Chikor and Chelsea are in the game, they will forever not do anything. You know what I'm saying? You get rid of the head of the snake, who knows what the rest of the body's going to do. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not saying that's the best move, but I'm saying it's a move, and I would.
What I'm saying is that yes, it is a move, but you guys are saying she's gonna lose anyways, so might as well secure.
You see Leah winning this season?
I think that anything is possible. Because let me speak. Let me cook. I'm prepping the ingredients, all right? Okay. So, because if you're talking about let's get the head of the snake out, she should aim for one of the people, one side only. She aims for one side, right? Let's say she goes and she puts up Tikor ends up leaving, right? Which would be crazy, mind you. That would be a crazy reset. If Takor leaves and Chelsea's not a part of it, like let's say like the Takor and Chemo on the block and it ends up that Takor leaves, that would be the biggest player to have a reset. And let's say people are mad at her, right? There are competitions. You should have less enemies than more enemies. And there's still so many competitions ahead. If you have 6 enemies, you have to defeat 6 people 6 times at minimum and make sure that they go before you. Versus if you get one of the 3 out, you just have to make sure that you outlast 2 people, which is possible because we have the veto and we have the HOH. So why not minimize your blood? Take a shot at the head. If you want to take a shot at the head, you pick a side, you take that shot. Ideally, it hits, or at least one of them goes. Then all you have to do is take that week, go to the other side, say, this is the move I did, blah, blah, blah. Try to win competitions as well and secure something. It doesn't matter what side she does it on, quite frankly. But what she needs to do is shoot at one side only. If you shoot at one side only, you have bigger chances of outlasting them. Within those 2-3 weeks, we've seen how this house gets flipped. Within those 2-3 weeks, she can make something shake, something else can happen. Angela could spew another rumor. Who knows? I don't think that anyone's game is dead.
So then let's try this. If we want real information coming out of this, I agree with you. Don't put up both of them. Put up one of them and then put someone else up from their line. So what's stopping her from doing all right, you already thinking Takor's a threat, or Chelsea? Either put up Chelsea in Cam, or put up T-Core and Rubina, and let's see what the other person really does. So y'all really want to be gang in. Obviously, they don't know all that, and we're at this point talking way out of the game because she don't know any of this, obviously. But in my opinion, I'm putting up one of the heads and then one of the members from the other side and see what happens. But they don't obviously know that they're like this. So at this point, we're just yapping. But another conversation another day. I agree with you convinced me a little bit. I ain't gonna hold you, but I do think that she needs to come after one of the heads. I really do. I feel like just chipping at one of the. I just think that chipping at alliance members isn't really doing anything for her.
It's wasting her time.
Yeah, it's a waste of time. I think that she needs a hard reset. But I agree with you. Is she so? What we're putting her C?
I said D. Quite frankly.
Fine. Y'all put her in D.
Because her losing Quinn and Joseph back to back. I know she is.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad, man. It's bad.
She traded in Joseph for Angela.
We're gonna get her out of here.
Wednesday last week is crazy to me. Anyways.
All right. I don't got much to say about Rubina. How you feeling about Rubina, Dom?
Don't really have much to say either. I'm trying to find something to say about her game, but she's just so I really don't have much to say about her at all. She's just kind of there. Does she have a game? Does she talk game? Because I don't really see her talking a lot of game on my end either. I don't know.
You guys Kima into core. I still think Rubina could win somehow if she sits next to someone everyone's bitter against. That's it. I don't really have much for her.
Is that because of Rubina, or is that because of the relationships Rubina made, especially in the pre-jury, when Tucker was there?
It's more, think of it like this. Jordan won BB11 because people didn't like Natalie. If Rubina sits next to someone everyone hates, just like Josh won against Paul because everyone hated Paul. It's one of those things. Because I think everyone does like Rubina, but I don't see her doing anything actively to win. You know what I'm saying? It would just be someone taking her and then a bitter jury. That's it.
I think the only to your point, Isaiah, I'll let you guys finish your thoughts on Rubina, but I'm good. Point, I don't see anyone in the house that can be hated to that degree like Paul, like Natalie, within the people that are remaining. You could argue maybe Angela, but I do not see a world where Rubina and Angela are in the final situation. These people are not aligned at all. It just doesn't make any sense. So that literally just seems like the most unlikely final two to me. So I genuinely to that point, I just don't see that even happening. I think everyone in this group has kind of solidified the fact that they're a family, that I don't see any crazy line or hatred. Everyone's crying at every eviction. It's not like that this season. So I don't think there's a main antagonist in this group.
I think, I mean, I'm not going to put her dead in the water because, I don't see her going anytime soon. But I think she's the bottom of D for sure. I just,
she would go this week?
No.
Well,
wait, make your case.
I think Chemo's gone.
Well, I think let's say Chemo gets off the block, I guess it's a what if, if let's say Chemo gets off the block, who goes next to Rubina?
If they put up Chelsea, I mean, if she puts up Takor and they don't eliminate Takor, I'm going to take so many points off of Chelsea, because what the hell? I don't even want to speak that in existence. That's crazy. Like, you made a really good point.
Or let's say Cam wins, Vito.
Would they waste a week on Rubina?
Well, let's say Cam will take, chemo off. So that means a guy's not going home. So they have to eliminate a woman at that point.
Is that what's going on?
Well, if let's say it's not, but I'm just saying these are what ifs, like these are things that could happen. Yeah. If I'm a guy in the house, I would probably want to save chemo to have someone always ahead of me. That's why I don't think Rubina's, like she could go home this week. She really could, depending on who she's next to. But I don't know. We'll see.
I'm down to put her down the water. I ain't hold you.
I'm gonna be so frank with you. I don't see a world where Rubina wins because
she's done.
She has not made the effort to actually be aligned. She is affiliate. She has relationships via someone else. Like her relationship with Chelsea, it's there, but it's really strongholded by other relationships surrounding both of them. And Rubina, for example, I think a big conversation about her game is the fact that she was like, I like Quinn. I wouldn't, like, despite the Tucker move, like I would, and Quinn's like, oh, she's done with me. I did it to her twice, but because people don't know where her head's at, I think she's a little bit more lenient. Not to mention that thing that she did to Quinn, like the jury duty bracelet, that's low-key insane. I'm sorry. I'd be pissed off. She's lucky that Quinn took that bracelet and kept it pushing, and made a joke out of it. Because if you just voted to evict me and you give me a bracelet that says jury duty, I'm on your neck, dog. Like I'm not happy.
I would do some shit like that too.
I would be pissed off. You want jury duty? You don't get my vote. How about that? Like I would be pissed off. Don't do that to me. Mind you, this man felt really blindsided. I would be like bitter. Like I'm not even going to cap. Like I think that was bad jury management on her part. Like maybe he might look at it as a joke later on. Or maybe he'll give her the bracelet when she comes into jury, inevitably, in my opinion.
I would have been like, Taylor Swift is not in this Big Brother house. Like, we are not doing Big Brother bracelets. No, ma'am.
No one prioritizes her. Like, she's the third of the trio.
So in the chat, so Kira asked, how is it a bad thing to be an affiliate in the social game for Big Brother? So I don't think it's bad to be an affiliate. I think that there's a point in Big Brother where you need to like flip the switch and be like a lot more proactive, right? I don't see Rubina like ever flipping that switch. Like it obviously this person's a terrible person. I'm not comparing them personality wise, but when I see Rubina, I think of Gina Marie, right? Where it's like you're in the game, you're just a body for an alliance and the better half of things. And if you happen to get to the end, you're not winning like at all. I'm sorry. So it's like I feel like, or like Annalise, like I just think Rubina is just like here because people like her, they like living with her, she's a friend. But like at the end of the day, like you have to like, what is Rubina's resume? What is Rubina's big move or like thing that gets her to win? I don't see it. Like, oh, Tucker. I had good friends, have a fun summer. Tucker, pre-jury, like no one's going to talk about that at that point. It's like. She's going to get to the finale and be like hags, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what to say. So like I like Rubina, but like I don't that affiliate thing is cool pre-jury, but like when you get to jury, you need to start playing the game, and I don't see that for her.
And she can make a case that this is her game, but we'll have to see it.
She didn't have the best speeches when she was on the block. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't see it at all.
Like, to the point, because I think I'm the one who said affiliate. It's because at the end of the day, if someone has to make a choice and you're an affiliate, baby girl, you're done with. Like if you get put on the block with Takor, you're going home. And if she's on the block with Chemo, I think she goes home. Like if she's on the block against Cam, I think she goes home. Like I think if she's on the block with Chelsea, she goes home. Like it like. Because you don't have these solid, strong relationships with these individuals one-on-one, when they do have to make a choice between you and someone they do have a strong relationship with, you're going home. Not to mention that you've made your bed. as a member of a trio that everyone is looking at as a threat. Like, she has not done the work. The reason why her and Takor can't be compared is because at least Takor has done the work where individually, despite her trio, she has multiple people willing to work with her. And even if Rubina is open to flipping, no one knows that because she hasn't said anything. If she does say something, she would have to do it very tactfully and make sure it doesn't go back to Takor and Chemo, but maybe they wouldn't even believe it. Like, she needs to put in that work, and I don't think she's done the work as a player individually to stand out. Like, she is the third, she is the bottom, she is the furniture. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. Her
like, I wish it wasn't the case because Rubina from the beginning, she seemed like she had a lot of potential, but she got into showmance, which she told herself she wasn't going to do because she knew that was a bad idea. And then she put herself in a trio and made herself the most disposable within the trio. Like, she's just not doing the work as an individual player to get that check as the winner for Big Brother. Like, it's just that easily. Like, it's just that if she puts in the work, then it'll be another conversation next week and we'll talk about how amazing she did, but she's not.
Yeah, like obviously if she does something that blows us all away next week, which is possible, like, shout there, but like as of right now I just don't see it for her. But what are you gonna do? All right, Chemo.
Lord.
I don't see it for Chemo. I think Chemo's chances went out the door when Tucker left. I think he is just a body for Takor. I think him and Rubina are just content with, like, we're just so happy for Takor. We're just here for Takor at this point, and it's like I can easily see Chemo going this week unless veto's used on him. I just don't see it. I think he's been put on the block a couple times, and I think this time is like the time where Chemo finally gets it handed to him. He just hasn't done himself any favors. He didn't really make enough allies after the whole Tucker fiasco and Joseph being gone. He should have been adjusting and talking to other people. And I don't think he's really done that. Like, I think he's just comfortable with his people and he's just here until it's his time, So I'm not high on him. I think Chemo is AD. And that's how I'm feeling. How you guys feeling about Chemo?
I'm not a fan. And I'll say this, and he's probably one of my least favorite, if not my least favorite house guest still left in the game. I don't like his game at all. I think it's fake. I think it's corny. I don't think he's really done much to really move himself up. He's said this speech over and over again about, wanting to represent, his community and, wanting to do this and wanting to do that. And he's wanting to be the first of everything. And I just don't think I'm like, but like, what do you have to back that up with? Like, what game is there to back that up with? Like, you're not the first, Asian you two are not the first Asian people to make it to jury. You're not the first gay person to make it to this point in the game. Like, what are we working for? And I get wanting to represent, don't get me wrong, I love the representation. That being said, I need some game with it. Like, just play the game, like, represent. Don't tell me you're representing, just represent. And he's not doing that. So
Tikla.
I agree. I'm with you.
Well, Dom, you ate. You ate.
Thank you.
That's not like a Katie moment to me. Katie has these moments where she says something and I things I didn't see before. I'm like, whoa, like you're kind of. But yeah, I think the issue with Chemo is that he's lucky that what's her name? MJ has empathy. He was gonna go home. He's lucky that she has empathy, quite frankly. No offense, again, I'm all about representation, but that speech to me did not say what you're going to do for my game. This is an individual game. What are you doing for me? He's just lucky that Mackenzie sees the importance of representation and she's an ally. That's it. He needs to count his lucky stars that he said the speech the way he did and that Mackenzie has empathy for him. That's quite frankly it. That's what I feel like. Had it not been the case, had I been in the house, he would have gone home. Like that's what it is, point blank in the period. I think he had the abilities to do excellent in this game. He was the one getting the most information out of the house, but he got messy. I think his downfall is the moment he wanted to prioritize Tucker in this game. Tucker, great television. Apparently, he said some problematic things. I can't speak for it. I wasn't there because the feeds are protecting everyone. Oops, I said it. Whatever. But he put in the work to help Tucker's game to his detriment. And so now, again, the theme is today, you reap what you sow. At this point in time, he's reaping what he's sowing. Him and Angela are the perpetual pawns, but the difference is there's actual real reasoning to go after Chemo. You could say anything you want about Angela, but game-wise, she's not actually a threat. She's not. Like, I don't care what anyone says. She's not. Chemo is. He has 2 secured jury votes if he makes it to the end. He has 2 people who will not go against him, and he is not putting in the work. He was messy, he was lazy, and he was careless because he had a crush on Tucker. And you know what? I'm all about love, but if it's going to be to your detriment, you reap what you sow. Everyone here reaps what they sow with these love connections, as you mentioned. I said it I think maybe week 3. It's giving Love Island. This is the wrong network. This is not Peacock. Like, it was giving very much that, and we're still dealing with the consequences of those things. Like, the beginning of the game is always going to have an impact towards the end of the game. Yes, we're now in jury, but what you did pre-jury also matters, and I think now Chemo is feeling that. He almost went home not once but twice. So your time's clicking.
It's
Time's
true.
up.
I also
TikTok is over.
You said something about the speech. I think someone on Twitter said that Mackenzie's brother might be gay or something, and that really tugged on the strings. And if that's the case, if we find that out, then like hats off to Chemo for like playing. If he knew that, like that's a good move right there. I'll give that to him. Besides that, though, I don't know what he's representing besides being gay and his culture and stuff, because he's not just representing it. So I just wanted to touch on that for a little bit.
All right. D tier.
D tier.
No phone, Dad. Are we? How y'all feeling? No one said when they play.
That's me. I don't like the guy, so he'd be done in the water.
How about you?
You know what?
Johnny?
Quite frankly,
yeah,
him or Rubin are going home.
Yeah.
And he's almost gone home twice. Like, there's no way Chemo wins this game. Like,
it's crazy.
We're gonna get that speech, family. I love you.
You can't make that speech every week. At some point, it's like, okay, it's tired, it's up. Like, you can't.
Oh my God.
We love representation. Don't get it twisted. Equity, diversity, and inclusion. Yes, we believe that. Silent Podcast.
That would be insane if he did it again, bro.
I mean, didn't he do this last week? Like,
yeah, he did.
We touched on it last week, so yeah.
He did.
It's like the rule of 3. Once the 3rd time is up, like,
I don't know. I'm not going on every show talking about my sexuality and my blackness every single time. Only when you need it. Not need it. Only when it's.
It's so messy. So fucking messy. What the hell are y'all doing? Is this what we're doing? Is this what's going on? Like, yo. Is this what we're doing?
Only when it's thank you, Kira.
I think we're in agreement that dead in the water.
I can't wait. CBS randomly chooses this week to look at my podcast. Hey, yeah, we saw your podcast, so I don't think this really lines up with our views here at CBS. Sorry, we're gonna.
Y'all like Dom, you gotta go.
Yeah, he's done.
No, Moses, no.
That is a rainbow card.
I got the gun.
Y'all crazy. All right, last person. Sorry. Yeah, y'all are unserious. Angela. Angela is not winning the season either, but great character. And I shout out to Angela. I've never seen a character vote incorrectly by herself multiple times. I've never seen someone put herself in shitty positions multiple times and yet find a way to get an ally every week. And she still has an ally in the HOH, so she's not going on the block this week. And, you know, Angela, like I said, she's not winning the season, but she just keeps finding ways to survive and be. Didn't she just break a record? Like, the highest person to get the veto using them 3 times. Yeah, that's crazy. You know, so she is the Pawn Star.
3 times as well, but just 2 in one season and 1 in another season. So not the same.
Yeah. Listen, Angela is the Pawn Star. I think she took that Johnny Mac title away from him. She is the Pawn Star, in my opinion. But she's not winning. She's D tier, y'all. Like, shout out to Angela. She's funny. She's Rennie. She's not winning. She's Felicia. She's not winning. But I like Angela. There you go.
I love her. That's my girl. I'm Team Angela all the way. Like, every week I'm rooting to see like what Angela's going to do. Like, she seems like such a lone wolf in this game, and I just love seeing her navigate and pull allies and pull people in with her, and it's so refreshing for this game. I don't think she's winning. However, I don't think she deserves D tier. I don't think she's that low. I think, you know, to have the veto used on you 3 times.
Yo.
And hear me out. Hear me out.
The amount of people have fought me to get her at a high ranking is crazy this season. It's not just you.
But like, hear me out though. To make it this far, you know, to the halfway point, we have like 30 days left in this game, and she's still here. And the game she's playing, she knows how to look you in the face and, you know, tell you one thing and then go do a different thing and still stay in the house. That is Angela. That is Angela's game right there. I think it deserves at least S tier. That is just how I see it.
You're compromised.
At least S tier. A compromise would be A.
But be like, I want to fight. I'm here to fight.
But I hear your point about her being D tier, I suppose. So.
Okay. How about you, Josie?
Honestly, Dom, you made some points. Yay. I'm gonna be so for real. The fact that she was able to do what Angela does and go spy in, make some misinformation, and then sell it. Like, I'm not saying that was her move per se, but it definitely aided. It aided. Like, she got the POV used on her. Like, Mackenzie in the beginning was like, I'm not using that POV. Ain't no way. That's not happening. It's not happening. So, you know what? I am going to take Angela on the block. That to me is a little insane. Call it the power of the white woman tears. I don't know what to tell you. It works though.
Yeah.
It's like, she's like, to me, she has a better path to the end than a lot of the people we've ranked, simply because people are going to go, no one's going to vote for her. No one's going to vote for her. And I think, you know, the empathy that we've seen this season, I don't know if she can take accountability. Mama lacks a little bit of that skill. But I do think that her path to the end is much easier than a lot of these other people. So it's like, will she win when she makes it to the end? I don't know. It'll depend on speech. It'll depend on bitterness. It'll depend on all these other things. But I think the fact that she can secure herself a seat at the final 2 more likely than other people is why she's a threat. But I don't think people are seeing it. The people who saw it just got the boot, a la Joseph, a la Quinn, quite frankly. Like, I don't think people are viewing the game in a statistical manner like those 2 were, in terms of like, I just want to at least sit at that seat, and Angela is the biggest threat for that. I think that it's entirely true. I think those foundations are powerful, but I think there's too many big threats that people are going to be like, it's just Angela, whatever. I think her biggest risk is the double eviction.
I agree. I also think Angela Giesling, I think, you know, if she were to make it to the end, she has to combat those tears somehow. Like, those tears are going to get her. And if you can't get through your speech or through these questions without crying, That's gonna hurt too, because she's not really crying when she's like, "I'm so sorry." Like, I love the girl, but like, she's not crying at all. And if she can't get that together before the end, when she does win, I don't know what to tell you. The person next to her is gonna win, probably Chelsea, or Tika or whoever's next to her. But that being said, no, Angela, I think she could win the game. I know I said she couldn't at first, but after hearing what you were just saying and after hearing what I'm saying, yeah, no. If she makes it to the end, my girl's winning.
I was at my parents' house watching the Joseph Elimination Week, and they don't watch Big Brother like at all. They don't care about it, but they know I know. And it was on the TV, and then Angela was crying after the AI competition about like how she wants to stay and fight and everything. And the first thing my mom said is, "Send her home. Her voice is annoying. I'm tired of hearing her."
Well.
Yeah. So yeah, but no relevance. She's not winning. She was at the bottom of the. Wait. Sorry.
It's kind of relevant.
She has a chance to win. Sorry.
Well, even with that though, like if her voice is annoying, like if your mom is thinking that, like scratch that. Her voice is just annoying in general. Her voice is just annoying in general. And if people are seeing that, especially in the game, they're gonna tone her out when she's talking, especially in the end. So like
I just want to be like, Angela, why do you keep voting in the minority on purpose?
But the thing is that like I don't
hated Quinn all season, and now is the time to do it, and then you still find a way to vote wrong. I just.
But now the people can't, and the jury can't say they're bitter towards her because she didn't actually evict them.
Do you think Angela wins against anyone that isn't Rubina?
Here's the thing.
T-Corp.
I can't say.
Do you think she beats T-Corp? Okay, I'm breaking her. I gotta go.
No, wait. Let me just finish my point. I think ultimately, like, despite it all, I think that they do care for her to a level. I know she can be annoying. I think she can be blah, but I think there is a level of care for her. I think the whole like I would do the pot. Or whatever she was saying with them, like later on, I feel like she has those moments a lot with the house guests. We don't always see them, or we don't usually care to note for them. But I do think that people care about her. I think they care enough that she got the POV used on her so many times. Like to a part of that, you have to give it a little bit of credit. And also, it's like, obviously, I'm saying if I was Angela, I don't know if she can think of this, but she can say, "Well, you guys, like." At the end of the day, like if you're looking at it, I've never voted with the house. I don't really have that many allies. I don't think I'm going to get the votes. If I know I can beat you, I want to carry you. And you never know. People have these mentalities where they're like, I think I'm going to beat this person. And then they don't. We mentioned Paul. We mentioned who else thought that they ate when they brought someone? Monty with Taylor. He thought he ate. He thought he ate with that choice. And Taylor ended up winning. I'm not saying that these people are playing the exact same game as Angela, but we have these moments where we, the audience, also think this person's going to win, but we're not in the house 24/7 with these people. Like, so it's really hard for me to say that she can't win. But the fact that she's more guaranteed to get a final 2 chair, to me, it's like, at least you're going to get to talk to people. At least you're going to be in the house.
Instead of dead in the water. She's not dead in the water. She has a chance. A low one, but a chance at that, So
I hear you. I hear you, Josie. Trust.
I do too. I agree with you. I'm just like, let's be real. This is the most balanced this chart has ever been. I feel like this is BB23 without the cookout. Right now, they wanted a team's twist, and this is unorganically a team's twist. So they got something going on here. But yeah, this is how we're feeling.
But
and
can I just say, if we're talking about trios, look how the trios are placed.
Yeah. This is the T-Core carry, and then this is the Chelsea party.
But her allies are the top 2.
Which is why we have Chelsea over her. I just thought
that's important to note. That's it.
Yeah.
Especially this week.
Mackenzie comes in with the steal. You know what I'm saying? But all right. Anyways, that's our podcast for tonight, everybody. This is a pretty fun one. If you like everything you heard and you enjoyed everything tonight, please go on our social media, give us a follow. If you're watching this video later, like, comment, and subscribe. You guys have been doing very good with that. We're on our road to 3,000 subscribers, so keep that up. And if you're listening to this on audio platforms, rate it 5 stars. 5 stars only. If it's something you don't like, just don't rate it. Wait till you hear something that you do enjoy. Dom, thank you so much for coming. Obviously,
yeah.
Where can people find you?
They can find me at not be looking up to see what I have my name as now. What's your winner? You think you just fell out of a dominant tree? At Poison Me Dog.
Well, are you serious?
That's my username, yeah. But my name's still Poison Me Dom. So,
oh my god.
I can even make a little banner real quick.
Joe, he's not even lying. What the hell?
That's so good. What a reference. What a reference.
You just fell out of a coconut tree. Anyways. But thank you for having me.
Okay. Josie, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on all social media that matters at JOSIANEXNM, Twitter, Instagram. You know the T, you know the vibes. I'm just podcasting on this show, but who knows? There's no BB Can, so maybe something else will come out in the works. Maybe we'll talk about Selling Sunset because this season is messy boots. I don't know. We'll see, but I'll be here, and maybe I'm gonna be playing the Banishment mini again. Who knows? We'll see.
That's not public information yet, but it's all right. And then you can follow me at 8Ball Bangers on everything like usual. You can come here every Friday per usual for our Big Brother coverage, and
I'll cover you.
And you can check out on our audio platforms. I've been covering Survivor Philly all season. Great season of LRGs. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you check that out. Survivor season's coming up, so Gia Worthy will be coming crazy with her coverage, especially with our friend Asia Welch playing. Shout out Asia. And all that fun stuff, you know? So make sure you look out for all of our stuff that we got coming at Silent Podcast. But until next time, have a good one. Bye.